The TOP assessment tool is a questionnaire that's completed by caseworkers, foster parents, biological parents, anyone that's involved with any particular child to assess how that child has been doing over the last 2 weeks, to give us a better understanding of any issues that child may be having, or also reflect upon anything that's been identified in the past that may have been a concern as to how that child is doing overall in the last few weeks. And then it's a compilation throughout the child's stay in care.
We signed on to be the initial site to pilot the TOP tool because we believe it has really great potential to allow us to make better placement plans for the kids in our care, to select more carefully and effectively providers for our kids, and ultimately to allow us to see better outcomes for our kids who have to be in out-of-home care.
The TOP tool has been very easy to use, and it basically gets to the crux of what's currently going on with that child, what we need to focus on at that particular time, and how we can assist that child in moving forward.
I had a child who had been frequently AWOLing. We haven't been able to keep her in a placement long enough for her to be assessed for mental health needs, and I was able to get her to complete the form, and the form ended up revealing a lot of psychotic thoughts and a lot of violence and suicidal behaviors, and we were able to determine that this child really needed residential. On the flip side of that, I've also used it on a teenager who, when I first got his case, very violent, a lot of suicidal behaviors. We were able to see a decrease in those, and we were able to step him down, and he eventually was placed with a relative.
The previous methods we've used to work with kids really don't show a lot of the concrete data that we may need. The TOP tool lets you determine where the child's behaviors currently are, so we have a better understanding of what their needs are and how we can help them. I've actually used the TOP tool with a youth who, it was his first placement episode, and his first placement was at a residential facility. And he participated in completing it, myself, the provider, the parent, and we really began to see the decrease in his behaviors. And having that tool is helpful to look at and say, yes, maybe this child is ready for step down from a facility to a family foster home. He currently is in a less restrictive setting, which is always the goal. He's in a family foster home. He's doing wonderful. He's working on his independent living goals. He's not on any medication. He's getting therapy, and he does have a lot of supports in place for him. He's doing well.
You log on, it's basically just read a question, click, and I've had no problems with it. It's computer friendly. It's very easy to do. It takes me probably less than 5 minutes to do it. If I know an SAR is coming up, we click on the email that's already in the system. It sends out to the different providers or foster parents. If a kid needs it done and they don't have an email, print the form out, go see the kid, have the kid fill it out. And the one nice thing is you can just fax the sheet on over, and right away it gets into the system. I'm using it to make sure that the kids are getting the services that they actually need. So when we go to placement and a child actually goes into foster care, they know which homes to look for, what services that network needs, by information we're providing on a child, so that this kid can benefit from the services.
It's helped me to engage more with my clients, even though I'm dealing with adolescents and kind of sometimes talking to 10-year-olds. You think that you're not going to get as much information as, initially I thought they won't really answer this. My experience has been I've gotten out of my 10-year-old that I've been working with, I think I've seen the most progress in terms of a personal relationship between himself and I.
Overall, it means better outcomes. It means that we're going to be able to look at this, utilize these tools, utilize the data that we'll be able to gather to drive the way we do business, to look for those special niches that people may need to have to address our children's needs, and ultimately help us with our providers and recruiting providers that meet those needs of those children.
My vision for the agency is that we will, by using this tool, begin to see better and better outcomes for our kids. And from a systemic perspective, we need to be good stewards of our dollars. I want us to spend the taxpayers' dollars on services for our children and families that really work. And what the TOPS form and this whole approach offers us in a big picture sense is the way to know over time what our providers are particularly good at, and to match children who have those needs with the provider who's got a proven track record at doing well with that child. And I'm very excited about that. I think it will lead to us being able to design really effective and more performance-based contracts and interventions for our kids and families.